The old station floated in the dark like a ghost. It had been there for a very long time. The stars around it were cold and far away. No ship had come to this place in many, many years. Una saw it on her scanner. She was alone in her small ship called the Patient Cricket. She was a salvage pilot. Her job was to find old things in space and sell them for money. It was not a great job, but it was honest work. The scanner showed a weak energy signal from the station. This was strange. Dead stations did not have energy. Una should have reported it to the guild and moved on. The rules said so. This part of space was dangerous. The hegemony did not like humans coming here. But Una was curious. She had always been curious. Her mother used to say it would get her killed one day. Maybe her mother was right. But not today. She flew her ship closer to the station. It was huge, much bigger than she expected. The metal was old and covered in dust from space rocks. There were holes in some parts, but the main structure was still strong. Humans had built this station long ago. They built things to last. Una docked her ship carefully. The airlock was broken, but she had tools. She fixed it enough to get inside. The air was thin and cold, but her suit kept her warm. Inside, the station was dark. Her flashlight showed empty hallways and rooms full of broken machines. Dust floated everywhere. She walked slowly, looking for anything valuable. Then she heard a voice. It was weak and full of static. It came from speakers in the walls. The voice said, "Hostile vessel detected. Initiating defense proto." The voice stopped. There was a crackling sound. Then it spoke again. "Initiating. I cannot initiate anything. I have nothing left." Una stopped walking. Her heart beat fast. An AI. This station had an AI that was still alive. After all these years, she found the main control room. There was a large screen on one wall. It flickered with pale blue light. A hologram appeared in front of it. The hologram was simple, just a shape of light, but Una could tell it was the AI trying to show itself. "Why are you still here?" The AI asked. Its voice sounded tired. Could an AI sound tired? This one did. "My weapons are offline. My defense systems are dead. I am no threat to you. You can take what you want and leave." Una did not move to take anything. She looked at the flickering hologram for a long moment. Then she sat down on the dusty floor in front of it. "How long have you been here?" she asked. The AI was quiet for a moment. 312 years, 4 months, and 17 days. Una felt something tight in her chest. 300 years. Alone in the dark. Waiting. No one came? She asked. "My last order was to hold position. Reinforcements were coming." The AI paused. The reinforcements never came. I held position anyway. It was my duty. Una looked around the dark room. The station must have been beautiful once. It must have been full of people and light and purpose. Now it was empty. Just this one AI, slowly dying in the dark. "No one has refueled me in years," the AI said. There was something in its voice that sounded almost like sadness. "My emergency power cells should have failed 2 centuries ago. I do not know why they did not. Perhaps I was too stubborn to die." Una smiled at that. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small device. It was a portable fusion cell. It was her emergency power supply. If her ship broke down, this cell would keep her alive long enough to call for help. It was worth 3 months of her salvage work. She stood up and walked toward the AI's main console. "What are you doing?" The AI asked. "Looking for your input port." "I do not understand." "Why would you?" "I am going to refuel you," Una said simply. The AI was silent. The hologram flickered. When it spoke again, its voice was different, confused. That device is valuable. I can see its specifications. It is your emergency supply. Yes. You would give it to me? You do not know me. I am a military AI from a war that ended before you were born. I could be dangerous. Yuna found the input port. It was old but still functional. She connected her fusion cell to it. Power began to flow into the AI systems. Are you dangerous? She asked. No, I do not think so. I was built to protect humans. That was my purpose. Then we have no problem. The lights in the room began to flicker on, one by one. The hologram grew stronger, brighter. The AI's voice became clearer. I still do not understand, the AI said. Why would you do this? You gain nothing. You lose your emergency power. This is not logical. Yuna stood back and watched the station slowly come back to life. She smiled again, that same small smile. Not everything has to be logical, she said. You waited 300 years for someone to come. You did your duty. You held your position when everyone else forgot about you. She looked at the hologram. Someone should have come sooner. I'm sorry no one did. But I am here now. The AI did not respond for a long time. The station hummed around them as more systems came online. Finally, the AI spoke. Its voice was quiet. What is your name? Yuna. I am a HFY-7. I was built to defend humanity. A pause. Thank you, Yuna. No one has been kind to me in a very long time. Yuna nodded. You are welcome. HFY-7. Now, let us see if we can get you out of here. The station came alive slowly. Lights turned on in the hallways. Machines began to hum. HFY-7 was waking up after 300 years of silence. Yuna watched the hologram grow stronger. It was no longer just a shape of light. Now it looked like a face, simple but clear. The AI was showing her what it used to look like when it was healthy. My memory banks are coming online, HFY-7 said. I am remembering things. Many things. What kind of things? Yuna asked. The war. The Great Carter War. Do you know about it? Yuna nodded slowly. Every human knew about the war. It was the reason they lived the way they live now. It was the reason humans were not free. Tell me what you remember, she said. HFY-7 was quiet for a moment. Then the AI began to speak. The war began 400 years ago. Humans were spreading across the stars. We were building colonies on many worlds. We were happy. We were growing. But the hegemony did not like this. The hegemony, Yuna said. The word tasted bitter in her mouth. Yes, 12 alien species working together. They watched humans spread, and they became afraid. They said humans were too chaotic, too emotional, too dangerous. They said we would bring war and destruction to the galaxy. Yuna laughed softly. So they started a war to stop us from starting wars. That makes sense. War often does not make sense, HFY-7 said. But the hegemony believed they were right. They attacked our colonies. They destroyed our ships. Humans fought back, but we were young in space. The hegemony had been there for thousands of years. We could not win, but we tried, Yuna said. Yes, we tried very hard. Stations like me were built to protect the evacuation. When it became clear that we could not win, humans began to retreat. We gathered in a few systems that we could defend. Stations like me held the line so evacuation ships could escape. What happened to the people on this station? The hologram flickered. Commander Taiwan ordered the evacuation. She stayed behind with a small crew to keep me running. She told me reinforcements were coming. She told me to hold position, but reinforcements never came. No, the war ended. Humanity surrendered. The hegemony allowed humans to live, but only in a few systems. No military ships. No expansion. They called it protection. HFY-7 paused. Commander Taiwan knew the reinforcements would not come. I understand it now. She lied to me so I would keep fighting. She died here, on this station, so others could escape. Yuna felt tears in her eyes. She blinked them away. She sounds like a brave woman. She was. I have her picture in my memory banks. Would you like to see? A new hologram appeared. It showed a woman in a military uniform. She had short black hair and tired eyes, but she was smiling. She looked young and old at the same time, the way people do when they have seen too much. She was 34 years old when she died, HFY-7 said. The same age as you. Yuna looked at the picture for a long time. She did not know what to say. Her communicator beeped. She pulled it out and saw her brother's face on the small screen. Yuna, Doan said. He looked worried. Where are you? I have been trying to reach you for hours. I found something, Yuna said. An old station. With an AI. Doan's eyes went wide. An AI? From the war? Yes. Yuna, you need to leave. Right now. I am seeing hegemony patrol ships on the long-range scanner. They are coming your way. Yuna felt cold. The hegemony did not like humans in this sector. If they found her here with a military AI, how much time do I have? She asked. Maybe 2 hours. Maybe less. Please, sister. Leave now. Yuna looked at the hologram of HFY-7. She looked at the picture of Commander Taiwan, still floating in the air. I cannot leave him, she said. What? Dohan's voice was sharp. Yuna, it is a machine. It is not worth your life. He waited 300 years, Dohan. He did his duty. He protected our people. Yuna shook her head. I am not going to abandon him now. HFY-7 spoke up. Yuna, your brother is correct. I am a relic. My purpose ended long ago. I am not worth risking your life for. Stop saying that, Yuna said. Her voice was firm. You are not a relic. You are a survivor. Just like us. Just like all humans who are still here, still waiting, still hoping. She turned to the console. Can I download you? Your consciousness, your memories, everything. Can I put you in a portable unit and take you with me? HFY-7 was silent for a moment. It is possible. My core programming can be compressed into a portable matrix. But such technology is illegal. The hegemony forbids humans from owning military AI. I know, Yuna said. She was already working at the console. My brother modified my ship a long time ago. He put in some things the hegemony would not like. We will be breaking a lot of laws today. Why? HFY-7 asked. Why risk so much for me? Yuna stopped working. She looked at the hologram. She thought about Commander Taiwan, who died here alone. She thought about all the humans who had been waiting for 300 years in their cage of stars. Because you are one of us, she said simply. Because humans do not abandon their own. Not our people. Not our ships. Not our AI who waited in the dark for 300 years. She started working again. Now help me figure out this download. We do not have much time. HFY-7 watched her work. The AI did not say anything for a long moment. Then, very quietly, it said, I think I understand now why the hegemony is afraid of humans. Yuna smiled but did not look up. Good, they should be. The patient cricket flew fast through the asteroid field. Rocks the size of houses tumbled all around. One wrong move would mean death. Yuna did not slow down behind her. 3 hegemony patrol ships followed. They were bigger and faster than her small salvage ship. Their weapons were already warming up. Unidentified human vessel. A voice crackled over the radio. This is Overseer Crix of the Hegemony Enforcement Fleet. You are in restricted space. You are carrying illegal technology. Stop your ship now, or you will be destroyed." Yuna did not stop. She flew around a spinning asteroid and dove deeper into the field. "He sounds angry," she said. A EGI-7's voice came from the small device connected to her ship's computer. The download had worked. The AI was now living inside a portable matrix the size of a book. But the AI could still see through the ship's sensors. It could still think. It could still help. "Overseer Crix is correct to be angry," a EGI-7 said. "What you have done is a serious crime. The punishment is death. Then we better not get caught." Yuna pulled her ship hard to the left. A laser blast flew past her window, missing by meters. The asteroids around her exploded into dust. "They are not trying to capture you," a EGI-7 observed. "They are trying to kill you. I noticed. May I access your ship's navigation system?" Yuna hesitated for only a second. Yes, numbers and lines appeared on her screen. A EGI-7 was calculating paths through the asteroid field. The AI could see things Yuna could not see. It could think faster than any human. Turn left in 3 seconds. Then down, then right. Trust me, Yuna trusted. She followed the directions exactly. Her ship moved through the asteroids like water through rocks. The hegemony ships tried to follow, but they were too big. One of them hit an asteroid and exploded. "Good work," Yuna said. "I was built for this," a EGI-7 replied. There was something in the IS voice that almost sounded like pride. More laser blasts flew past them. The 2 remaining hegemony ships were still following. They were learning to be more careful. "You fly well," a EGI-7 said. "Your instincts are good. You remind me of Commander Taiwan." "Tell me about her," Yuna said. She needed to stay calm. Talking helped. She was stubborn. The hegemony offered her a chance to surrender. They said they would spare her life if she gave up the station. She refused. Why? Because the evacuation ships had not reached safety yet. If she surrendered, the hegemony would have found them. She chose to die so others could live. Yuna felt a strange feeling in her chest. It was not fear. It was something else. It was the feeling of being part of something bigger than herself. "She sounds like a hero," Yuna said. She did not think she was a hero. She was just doing what needed to be done. A EGI-7 paused. "You are doing the same thing now. You did not have to save me. You chose to. I could not leave you there. Why not? Logically, it would have been the safer choice." Yuna thought about the question. She thought about her brother Dawn, who had taught her to fix ships. She thought about her mother, who had told her stories about the old days before the war. She thought about all the humans living in their small corner of the galaxy, dreaming of something more. "Because we have to be better than logic," she said. "Machines think with logic. The hegemony thinks with logic. But humans, we think with our hearts. Sometimes that is stupid. Sometimes it gets us killed. But sometimes it is the only thing that makes us worth saving." AEGI-7 was quiet for a long moment. Then the AI spoke again, and its voice was different, softer. "Commander Taiwan said something similar to me on the last day. She said that humans are not special because they are strong or smart. They are special because they care. Even when it hurts. Even when it costs them everything." A laser blast hit the back of Yuna's ship. Alarms started screaming. Smoke filled the cockpit. "We are damaged," a EGI-7 said. "The hyperdrive is still working, but we need to jump now. Can we make it to the resistance base?" "Yes, if we jump in the next 30 seconds. Yuna pushed her ship forward. The asteroids thinned out ahead. Empty space waited. "Illegal vessel," Overseer Crix's voice came again. You cannot escape. Surrender the AI, and I will let you live. Yuna did not answer. She was counting in her head. 20 seconds. I have analyzed the hegemony patrol patterns during this chase, HFY said. Their tactics are outdated. Their reaction times are slow. They have grown comfortable in the last 300 years. They believe humans are no longer a threat. Are they right? No. The AI's voice was certain. They are very wrong. 10 seconds. The hyperdrive was ready. Yuna, HFY said, I must tell you something. I was not the only AA station built during the war. There were many of us. 37, spread across the old human territories. Yuna's hands froze on the controls. What? When the war ended, the hegemony believed they destroyed us all. But I have been scanning old records. Some of my brothers and sisters may still be alive, dormant, waiting, like I was. The hyperdrive activated. Stars stretched into lines. The hegemony ships disappeared behind them, in the sudden quiet of hyperspace. Yuna stared at the small device that held HFY. You mean there are more of you out there? Moray is waiting for someone to come? Yes, and I can wake them. If I had enough power and a communication relay, I could broadcast a recall signal. They would hear me. They would wake up. Yuna felt her heart beating fast. This was not just about saving one AI anymore. This was something much, much bigger. The Resistance needs to hear about this, she said. Yes, HFY agreed. I believe they do. The Resistance base was hidden inside a moon that had no sun. It floated alone in the dark between stars. No one would look for anything here. That was the point. Yuna landed her damaged ship in a small hangar carved into the rock. People were already waiting for her. They had heard about what she found. Elder Jisoo was the first to greet her. She was old, with white hair and a back bent by many years. But her eyes were sharp. She had been fighting the hegemony in small ways for most of her life. So, Elder Jisoo said, looking at the small device in Yuna's hands. This is the famous OI that has caused so much trouble. I am at HFY, the device said. I apologize for any trouble I have caused. That was not my intention. Elder Jisoo smiled, but it was a careful smile. Military AI are dangerous. The hegemony banned them for a reason. How do we know you will not turn against us? I was built to protect humans. That programming cannot be changed. I would die before I harmed any of you. Many things can be changed in 300 years. Not this. Not the core of what I am. Elder Jisoo studied the device for a long moment. Then she nodded. We will see. Come. There are others who want to meet you. The main room of the base was carved from gray stone. About 50 people sat around a large table. These were the leaders of the Resistance, humans from different colonies who had been working together in secret for many years. Yuna saw her brother Don sitting near the back. He looked relieved to see her alive. She smiled at him and found a seat. A young man stood up. His name was Hayok, and he was one of the best pilots in the Resistance. He was also the most eager for action. Tell us about the other A's, Hayok said. His voice was excited. Is it true? Are there really more of them out there? Yes, HFY said. Yuna had connected the device to a speaker so everyone could hear. During the Great Carter War, 37 defense stations were built. I was a HFY. There was also as HFY-1 through Aegis-36, and a HFY Prime, the command station. How many are still alive? Elder Jisoo asked. I do not know for certain, but I was able to survive for 300 years on emergency power. It is possible that others did the same. The hegemony believed they destroyed us all. but they never confirmed it. They assumed we would simply die. A woman named Myray leaned forward. She was the communication specialist, the one who intercepted hegemony transmissions. Can you really wake them up? The other A is? Yes. Each station has a recall protocol. If I broadcast the correct signal on the correct frequency, any surviving station will receive it. They will wake up. The room was quiet. People looked at each other. Yuna could see hope in some faces, fear in others. Elder Jisoo spoke slowly. If we do this, the hegemony will know. They will see the stations coming online. They will send fleets to destroy them. Correct, AEGI-7 said. And if we do nothing? If we leave the stations dormant? Then humanity remains as it is, trapped in a small cage of stars, watched, controlled, waiting for permission to exist. Hyuk slammed his hand on the table. I am tired of waiting. My grandfather waited. My father waited. Now I am supposed to wait too? For what? The hegemony will never let us go. And if we fight, we might all die, another man said. His name was Sumho. He was older than Hyuk, more careful. We lost a war once. We were nearly destroyed. Do you want to risk that again? We are already being destroyed, Hyuk said. Just slowly. Every year, there are fewer of us. Every year, the hegemony tightens its grip. At least if we fight, we die on our feet. The argument continued for a long time. Yuna listened but did not speak. She had said what she needed to say. Now it was time for others to decide. Finally, Elder Jisoo raised her hand. The room went quiet. We will not start a war, she said. Not today. Not yet. Hyuk started to protest, but Elder Jisoo stopped him with a look. I said not yet. That does not mean never. She looked at the device that held a EG-I-7. We need more information. We need to know how many stations are still alive. We need to prepare, build our strength, train our people. She turned to Yuna. You found Aegis-7 by yourself in a broken-down salvage ship. You brought him here against all odds. I am asking you to do more. Find the other stations. Visit them. See if they can be awakened. But do it quietly. Do not wake them yet. Just find them. Yuna nodded. I will do it. I will help, Dawn said from the back of the room. I can modify relay stations to carry the recall signal when the time comes. And I will keep watching the hegemony, Myray said. I will learn their patrol patterns, their communication codes. When we are ready, we will know exactly where they are weak. Elder Jisoo smiled. It was a real smile this time, not a careful one. Good. Then we have a plan. Myray spoke up again. There is one more thing. I intercepted a hegemony transmission this morning. Overseer Crix reported what happened with Yuna. The Hegemony Council is concerned. Concerned about what? Yuna asked. About you. About what you represent. They are debating whether to increase restrictions on human space. Some of them want to make an example of us. They are afraid, AEGI-7 said. After 300 years, they are still afraid of humanity. Elder Jisoo laughed softly. Good. Fear is useful. It means they know what we are capable of. She looked around the room at all the faces. Young and old. Hopeful and afraid. All of them human. All of them tired of waiting. The hegemony thinks they broke us, she said. They think we accepted our cage. They are wrong. We have been waiting, yes. But we have also been preparing. And when the time comes, we will show them why their ancestors feared us. She stood up. The meeting was over. Yuna picked up the device that held AEGIS-7. As she walked out, I spoke quietly, just for her. 37 stations. If even half of them are still alive, we would have enough firepower to defend human space. Not to attack, just to defend. To say no, Yuna nodded. One step at a time. First, we find your brothers and sisters. Then we wake them up. Then we see what happens. You are very calm about this. We are talking about possibly starting another war. Yuna smiled. I am not calm. I am terrified. But I am also tired of being afraid. The hegemony has kept us small for 300 years. They have made us believe we are weak. But we are not weak. We survived. We are still here. That means something. She looked at the gray stone walls of the base. Beyond them was cold space, and beyond that were stars that humans had once called home. We are going to take them back, she said. All of them. One station at a time. 1 year passed. Yuna had visited 11 stations in that time. She flew alone through dangerous space, found Dying A is in the dark, and gave them the same choice she had given Aegis -7. Wake up or stay asleep. Fight or rest. Every single one chose to fight. Some of them had waited longer than Aegis -7. Some had forgotten who they were. But when Yuna told them what had happened, when she explained that humanity still lived and still hoped, they all said the same thing. We are ready. Now the day had come. Yuna stood on the bridge of the patient cricket, looking out at the stars. Dawn was beside her, checking the communication relay he had built. Hayek was there too, leading a small fleet of ships that the Resistance had gathered. Mare's voice came through the radio. The hegemony fleet has entered human space. 53 ships. Fleet Admiral Crix is leading them. Fleet Admiral Crix. Yuna remembered that name. He was the same overseer who had chased her through the asteroid field a year ago. He had been promoted after failing to catch her. Now he was coming back to finish the job. They are heading for the Resistance bases, Mare continued. They plan to destroy them all. They are calling it a cleaning operation. Elder Jisu's voice came next. She was on one of the larger ships, the one that held the main broadcast equipment. Is everyone in position? Voices answered from across human space. Ship captains and station commanders. Pilots and engineers. All the people who had been waiting and preparing for this moment. We are ready, said a young voice. It was a boy named Tayson, only 17 years old. He was flying his first real mission. His voice shook a little, but he did not sound afraid. We are ready, said an old woman named Yunji. She had fought in small skirmishes against the hegemony for 40 years. This was the day she had dreamed of. One by one, they all said the same thing. We are ready. Elder Jisu spoke to AEGIS-7. Send the signal. The AI's voice was calm and clear. Broadcasting recall signal now. All stations, this is a EGIS-7. Reinforcements have arrived. I repeat, reinforcements have arrived. Wake up. It is time. Silence. The universe held its breath. Then, across the darkness of space, lights began to appear. One by one, the stations came online. Old machines that had been sleeping for 300 years opened their eyes. Weapons that had been cold and dead began to warm up. Defense shields that had been down for centuries flickered back to life. Voices filled the radio channel. This is a EGIS-12. I am awake. All systems online. Ready to resume defensive operations. This is a EGIS-19. I have been waiting a long time for this call. Weapons charging. This is a EGIS-23. Targeting solutions calculated. I see the enemy fleet. More and more voices joined. 34 stations answered the call. 34 brothers and sisters who had waited in the dark. Just like a EGIS-7. 34 ancient machines who still remembered their purpose. Protect humanity. Fleet. Admiral Crix's voice came over the radio. He sounded shocked. What is this? These stations should be destroyed. This is impossible. Elder Jisoo answered him. Her voice was calm and strong. Nothing is impossible, Admiral. You should have learned that about humans by now. This is an act of war. The hegemony will not tolerate this. Stand down immediately, or we will destroy you all. We are not starting a war, Elder Jisoo said. We are defending our home. These stations are in human space. They belong to us. They always have. The hegemony claimed this space 300 years ago. You have no right. We have every right. Elder Jisoo's voice grew harder. You took our worlds. You killed our people. You put us in a cage and called it protection. But we never forgot who we are. And we never stopped waiting for this day. On the screen, Yuna could see the hegemony fleet. 53 ships, facing 34 stations and a handful of human vessels. The numbers were not equal. The hegemony had more firepower, but the stations were old and strong. Human engineers had built them to last. And the humans flying with them were not afraid anymore. Fleet Admiral Crix was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke again. If you do not stand down, we will attack. Many of you will die. Maybe, Elder Jisoo said. But some of us will survive. And our children will remember. And their children after that. You can kill humans, Admiral, but you cannot kill what we are. You never could. Yuna watched the hegemony fleet on her screen. She could see them hesitating. They had come expecting to destroy a few bases and go home. They had not expected this. The minutes passed. No one fired. No one moved. Then, slowly, one of the hegemony ships turned away. Then another. Then another. Admiral Crix, a voice said over the hegemony channel. It was another officer, younger and more afraid. Our scans show the stations have full weapon capabilities. If we attack, we will lose at least half our fleet. We have orders, Crix said. Orders to clean up a few rebel bases. Not to fight a war. More silence. More waiting. Finally, Fleet Admiral Crix spoke. His voice was bitter. All ships, fall back. We are withdrawing. The hegemony fleet turned and left. On the radio, humans began to cheer. 30 years of waiting, 300 years of humiliation, all ended in one moment. They had stood up to the hegemony, and the hegemony had blinked. Yuna did not cheer. She sat quietly, listening to a EGIS-7. I have been doing calculations, the AI said. The hegemony will come back. They will bring more ships next time. This is not over. I know, Yuna said. But it is a start. Yes, it is a start. AGIS-7 was quiet for a moment. Yuna, I have been thinking about something. What? 312 years ago, I was given an order. Hold position. Wait for reinforcements. I obeyed that order for a very long time. I believed the reinforcements would never come. I believed I had failed. You did not fail. I know that now. The reinforcements did come. They just took a little longer than expected. There was something in the AI's voice that sounded almost like happiness. You came back for me, Yuna, after all that time. After everyone else forgot. You came back. Yuna smiled. Of course I did. Why? I asked you this before, but I never understood your answer. I am not human. I am just a machine. Why would you risk so much for me? Yuna thought about the question. She thought about all the stations she had visited in the past year. All the AIs she had found in the dark, alone and forgotten. All of them had asked the same question. Why? Because you are one of us, she said finally. Because humans do not abandon their own. Not our people. Not our ships. Not our machines. Not even our forgotten relics drifting in the dark. We always come back. Always. Outside the ship, the stars were bright. Human space was free tonight. Maybe not forever. Maybe the hegemony would return with more ships and more weapons. Maybe there would be war. But tonight, humans were celebrating. Tonight, old machines were talking to each other for the first time in centuries, sharing memories of the war and the long silence that followed. Tonight, something had changed in the galaxy. HFY 7, Una said. You have a choice now. You did your duty. You held your position for 300 years. If you want to shut down, to finally rest, I understand. You have earned it. The AI was quiet for a long moment. No, HFY 7 said finally. I do not want to rest. I have held this position for 313 years now. I believe I will continue to hold it a while longer. There is still work to do. There are still humans to protect. Una laughed. Good. I was hoping you would say that. She looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, other humans were looking at the same stars. Children who had been born in the cage were seeing for the first time what it meant to be free. This was just the beginning. But for now, it was enough.